Hey, how's it going? What
I
up,
was gonna see
everybody?
how fake being froze. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, we could. That would have been fun. What up? It's the PR Project, episode number 9, off season vibes. Today, my name is Tommy Runs, and tomorrow we don't know, but that's Aaron over here.
Aaron Worldwide. What up, though?
Yep, Aaron, we're right up though. Yeah, man. Off season. It's episode 9. Off season is after today. It's over.
That
Does
can
that
only
make
mean
does
one
that,
thing.
does that make you? Do you have an issue with that? Like, did you want to stay in the off season longer? Are you connected to it? Are you ready to move on?
I felt no feelings when you said that.
Oh,
Um, I believe the great, American philosopher Eckhart Tolle would say, "It is what it
okay.
is."
Did he say it is what it is?
No, but I feel like that's what the
What
whole
to
book
say?
is. The whole book of the Power of Now is just him keep saying,
It
"Look,
is.
bro, hey,
Yeah.
it is what it is, my boy. You know what I'm saying? It is what it
Hey,
is." So,
I thought you was gonna say the great the great Detroit philosopher, Street Lord Jesse James says, "It is what it is."
hey,
But I mean,
push
it
me.
is. But it is what it is. We did quite a few weeks. It was 9 weeks of the off season, and we had some fun. We did some races. I just want to like reflect on the off season a bit, and the concept of the off season for us obviously is to go out there, have some fun a little bit, do some faster races in the heat, do a lot of training, get the numbers up, ready for what is to come, which is a marathon training block. So for me, I my off season in a nutshell has been recovering from this knee leg thing, and so right, I've been going to ramp recovery, ramp athletics every once every 2 weeks for the last since Boston. That's a
Five
lot
months,
of
4 months,
visits, yeah,
3 months,
and
change actually.
the reason why I've been going back so often is because I feel like the type of thing that I have going on in my leg, if I wasn't running, I probably would be fine now and it'd be gone forever. But I had goals and things that I felt like I needed to go after, regardless of the knee or not. So, but I've been feeling great, but I just keep going back to kind of just keep that train rolling instead of just thinking I'm okay and then just going back to what I was doing. So yeah, off season for me has been a lot of rehab, a lot of running, a bunch of other stuff. But the main thing though that I've been continuously talking about, and I'm kind of trying to remind myself, but then also maybe share this with others, to try to have fun. I mean, we Aaron and I are 100% about the process and like put the miles in, whether you like it or not. You know, we're just going after it, blah blah. But the biggest thing for me this block is I wanted to take the time to like Eckhart Tolle and be in the moment and experience it and enjoy it and find ways to figure out how to be in the now and not have to dread it so much because I'm intense. Like I'm like, especially when it comes to running, like I'm like super into it. I mean, a bunch of us are. It's like, you got this goal, you're trying to BQ, you're trying to whatever, you're trying to PR, you're whatever. It's a marathon or a half or a 5K or 10K, whatever it is that you're training for. We get really worked up about it because we want to succeed and have a good day. Because especially on the marathon side, a bad day for a marathon is like it's like the worst day ever because it's a long distance to have a bad day. But somewhere in there, like I get too tense, too worked up, too stressed because I'm just like, okay, it's a marathon training block. It has to be terrible, right? If you're not doing it right, if you're doing it wrong, it's gonna be fun. If you're doing it right, it's supposed to be terrible. You're supposed to struggle through it, but that just can't be life.
No,
So
it's
I'm
not.
trying to I'm trying my best to lean into that. And I've actually been, succeeding. I remind myself during runs to relax, enjoy. You know what I'm saying? I thought you were about to cross me over.
No, that was me
Um,
completing my Instagram post to tell people to come say what's up.
come
Full
check it out.
transparency. That's why I wasn't looking
Um,
at the camera that whole time because I'm trying to get us some
yeah,
friends.
I thought you just was not into it, but like and that's what I've been trying to do and focus on, enjoying the process and the experience, and it's actually been like I'm having a good time. The miles aren't like crazy high, but even before at 50 to 60 miles a week, I was just like locked in and determined I'm gonna go do this 8 mile run, and moan and groan and like think that that's a good thing. But that's my goal this block and the next one that's coming right now next week when we start to get ready for New York. And that's what I'm taking to New York with me.
Somebody sent me the Statue of Liberty emoji. Shout out Allison. She sent me the Statue of Liberty emoji, and that got me so charged up for some reason, bro. She's like, let's go. I'm like, let's do it, bro. Let's. But I agree with everything you're saying. The more you turn this training, the more you turn this hobby that we do into work, the more it's gonna feel like your job. And jobs aren't usually fun. Yeah. So like I know me personally, I like to use this running thing as a way to kind of get away from my job, get away from my usual normal things that I go through in life. So whereas I do apply an appropriate level of seriousness to it, because it's not like I'm just out here doing it just to do it, which is, there's nothing wrong with that either. But I do have goals, and I do have certain benchmarks that I'm trying to check off the list. So I do give it an appropriate amount of seriousness, but there is a thin line between an appropriate amount of seriousness and an over obsession, which I'm also pretty good at, because I've never really been able to do anything halfway or kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So yeah, the mindset reframing that you're going into this training block with, and you carry through the off season, I think is going to pay dividends for you going forward, because I feel like you may have reached a glass ceiling with your training and just with your ability thinking the way you were thinking. So I think as we grow and as we mature and as we gain more wisdom in this running thing and just in this life thing in general, we learn that full, absolute, straight line focus on one thing isn't always the best. We do need to keep our minds dynamic and thinking about other things, and not always just obsessing about one thing. So I think it's going to pay great dividends for you going forward. And hopefully in New York, we see a new improved Tommy Runs 2.0.
Hey, man. And like what Vaz says here, that itself is a balance, like that balance between, the seriousness of like going after a goal, but then also in that lighthearted fun. I mean, we are running, we get to run. It's a blessing, like some people can't do this, and we need to also just enjoy that moment and feel we should be honored to be able to go after it the way we do. So it's absolutely a balance, and that's what it was. I was definitely skewed towards the, I'd have fun before the run maybe, but then once you get going, I'd just be trying to make sure the form is right, all that stuff. But yes, thank you, Vaz. It's absolutely a balance, man.
And that's why running is the greatest metaphor for life, because life is also about balance. So we're all trying to, yeah, for sure. Come on, Tom.
I didn't know. I
know you kind of go super over here with everything, and I do too.
Okay.
It is about balance. It is about balance.
Well, I mean, so like
you vegan sober runner guy from the podcast now, so you have to like
think about balance.
Yeah. No, you have to preach balance. You have to tell people that.
So here's my
every day wanting to drink, but you fight it off. Like you got to be that guy.
So here's my thing with balance, and I still think it's balance. It's just in like more of a macro approach to it, as opposed to like everything has to be balanced all at one time. You can't balance everything at one time. Like there's going to be weeks, days, months even, or maybe even years if you're like starting a company or something like that, or going after something crazy like trying to get on Olympic trial qualifier or something like that. It's going to be periods of times where it's skewed towards one thing or the other, and you have to be okay with that too. But you have to be transparent with the people around, that you're, you gotta have people buy on to like your ideas.
No, I agree with that. I just got this fire metaphor I was thinking, and I'm just like, all right, let me drop this real quick.
Dang, that's your thinking face?
Yeah, my thinking face. So when someone is walking on a balance beam, they're not always in control. Sometimes there's, if they were perfectly balanced the whole time, they would just walk straight and it wouldn't look crazy.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to balance, you're going to swing one way, you're going to swing the other way.
But that's a good one.
You'll always come back centered. That's the goal, right?
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, because like if you picture that pole that they got like going across, it's like it does do that thing, and that's what we're talking about. Like there's certain times it's gonna be, but if you just continue to let it go that way, sir, we will watch you fall from the sky
Yes.
and go, you know,
Well, you'll hit
and
the
then,
neck because they don't let people just do it without one. But
I mean,
in essence, yes.
in essence, yeah, yeah, in our imagination, you almost died.
And Malik says, what makes us or people like us happy is challenge and accomplishing difficult things. It's always a balance. Yes, I agree. Because if we just sail through life in the comfort zone and never reach for anything that might be out of our grasp a little bit, we would be living this super unfulfilling life. Like a part of being a high performing individual is setting those ambitious goals and putting the work in to go get them. Like I know plenty of people that's just sleepwalking through life. That's just like,
oh, don't tell them, don't say sleepwalk. Yeah, they out here. I mean, for a long time, man. You know, if we go and we hear, man, I was sleepwalking for a minute, man, and then when I woke
hey,
up,
it's real. I know
it's
people.
like you wake up and you be like, where am
You
I?
ever ran into one of your homies from high school and you be like,
You still in high school?
you the same guy. You the same
Yeah.
guy. No different.
That's what I
And
tell my.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, blessed be. More power to you. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. That's not really what I'm into right now. And maybe, at 40, I'll look back and be like, I'm the same guy I was at 32. You never know. But personally, I would like to feel like I've grown. Personally, I would like to feel like over the course of my journey, I've picked up things. I've let things go because that's just as important. And, I became a new person, a new version of the person that I've always been. It's like you constantly going through upgrades. It's like iTunes. You know what I'm saying? They're going to throw up that, do you want to update right now?
Yeah.
No, bro, I'm still on iTunes 2.0, bro. I don't need all that.
There's so many people that like just keep saying no, maybe later, that maybe later button, that notification for that upgrade come up, that opportunity or that moment where you gotta like try a little harder.
Yeah.
They're like, no, maybe later. You know what I'm saying? I'll do that later. And then
I know plenty of people at work that just be like, I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to do that. And it's like 5 years later, you in the same position, making the same amount of bread. And I'm not saying money is everything, but I mean, at some point you have to take a step outside that comfort zone and figure out, is this what I want to do?
And then next thing you know, you mad because everybody else got new upgraded emojis, and you like, yo, what is this thing that y'all sending me? Oh, it's an alien. You still got iPhone 5,
I like how you completed that, how you came back around full circle.
Absolutely. I was waiting.
You still out here on the YouTube that got the little TV on the big box TV on because you just being stubborn and you don't want to grow.
Yeah,
you don't want to get uncomfortable for a second. I don't want to switch to iPhone because I don't like the operating system. It's a 2-day learning process and you'll be there.
Hit update now, or worst case scenario, when you hit maybe later, schedule for overnight.
Yeah.
Off season.
It's gonna happen. The world is gonna keep going forward, whether you want to go with it or not. It's up to you.
Dang.
You don't want to be the dude still rocking the NBA teams on his jeans, bro. NBA denim is not it.
Like the Eminem race car jackets, like yo,
you feel me? Like brother, man, what you got going on?
I don't care how cool. Yeah, I don't care how cool you think you are. You need to leave that where it's at.
Leave that in the closet, king.
Yeah, just keep that for maybe one day you go to Halloween or a party, a '90s party or something like that.
Right.
Yo, speaking of '90s party, dang, segue was crazy. Crazy. I messed up the segue by announcing that the segue was good.
Hey, you have to acknowledge your greatness sometimes.
Segue was crazy. So today, this ain't working right. So today we ran a race. In the off season, what we do is we run races, shorter races, things like that to get faster, work on some things. Today was the Trivium Dearborn Decades 5K. And the reason why I said 90s is because the theme each year, or they pick a decade and then they change the theme of the thing. Blah, blah, blah. Today was 90s Day, and we raced, and it was a grand old time. I'd love for you to start with your day in the whole nutshell, race, vibes, all that.
Okay. I have a much less eventful day than you did. Just some foreshadowing there. My goal today. So I ran the Dearborn Decades 5K every year since 2019. I set my 5K PR there 3 times. So 2019, 2020, and 2021, I set a new 5K PR there. Fact check me on 2019, but I'm pretty sure it was. Um, and yeah, so I have fond feelings about running in Ford Field Park in Dearborn. It's always a fun race. It seems like that race always lands on the most humid weekend of the year.
It is by far it's the most humid weekend of the year. Not even like an exaggeration. It was 93% humidity today we ran.
And it was already 77 degrees at 8 a.m. at start time. So it's never the most ideal conditions, but it tests you. The course is slightly rolling. There's like 2 hills on the course, and they're placed in some very interesting spots.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Any hill, I forgot who said it to me, but any hill in any 5K or 10K, no matter how big or small the hill is, it's terrible.
Yeah. And this one, they start you out going up the hill, and then on the way back, you get hit with a hill at right about 2.5, and it kind of tests your mettle. Like, is this what I really want to do? But before I get to that, so we started off the day with a 3-mile warm up, nothing too crazy. I felt kind of weird. I stuck to my normal routine for early race morning, especially a 5K. On marathon days, I like to try to get a meal in 2 or 3 hours before the race. For 5Ks, I usually don't do that much. I'll eat a banana. I'll drink some UCAN energy with some hydrate in there just to get, especially on a hot day like this, some hydrate. So some salt, some super starch in me. And I got out. So I got to Dearborn about an hour before the race started. Visited the facilities because, that is a very important thing to do pre-race. And then I took off for my 3-mile warm-up, and I felt heavy, and I'm just like, something's not right. Like, this is not it.
This ain't it.
This is not going to be a good day. Like, I felt strange, but I soldiered on. I saw Tommy finishing up his warm-up, if that's what we'll call it. And I was running with my brother, Jared. So shout out to Jared. That was cool to get a good warm-up in with him. And so Jared turned around at a 1 mile because he was only doing 2-mile warm-up. And I saw a Kroger off in the distance. And I'm like, maybe I should go in this grocery store and just check out the restroom and see, make sure everything's working right. Just make sure that they're, how they had like the thing on the door that's like, this was last cleaned by this person. I had to go in there and just make sure, that they were doing their job. I had to go in there just a nice inspection. And
research purposes only.
Absolutely. And once I gave the bathroom about an 8 out of 10 for a grocery store. I have very high standards for my grocery store restrooms. I feel like they should be clean at all times.
No shade to Kroger. No shade to Kroger, but you're not gonna get a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 at a Kroger.
No. Kroger is it's too many different kind of people in there. It's tough. So once I checked that off, I felt much better. I think that that process of just going through and doing something like that kind of calmed my mind a bit. So I headed back. I got back to the start line right around maybe 10 minutes or so before the race started. So that was cool. My aim for the race was just to run it. I had a 10-mile run on my schedule, 4 miles at Gold Marathon pace. I knew that I wasn't racing this all out in a 5K because I was going to keep going after and finish out the 4 miles. But I knew in the back of my head that I was going to go too fast. Like, it was already written. Like, I can't just go out there and just like watch everybody. Well, not everybody, but just watch people like go past me and stuff. So I started out mid pack, just kind of hanging out. And then as I'm going along, I'm like, I'm passing people. And I'm just trying to stay relaxed. I'm trying to stay within myself. And I'm just like, this is a different approach to racing.
Yeah. It's weird.
I'm very familiar with that course, having ran it for the last 3 years. So I kind of knew what was coming. I knew what was in store. And I'm just like, okay, the turnaround is coming up. I see people. I see Tommy. I see Gary. I see Ray. I see this child.
I see friends.
Yeah, I see friends. I'm deciding whether I want to make a move and go catch Tommy and Gary and just hang out with them. I see a bunch of people from the run club, a lot of people that got out super ambitious and were paying for it. And I'm like, I've been there before. I know how that feels. I feel for you, but I will see you in about 20 minutes. So yeah, it was just, it was pretty cool. And then running through the finish and then telling Melissa, who was passing out the medals, I'll be back. I don't need that right now. because I had to finish the run.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had to
yeah.
finish the tempo session, the tempo effort portion. So
Some people.
I go through the finish line, I make a right, and I had made a right earlier there during my warm up, and I noticed that there was this steep hill that took you out to the parking lot, and I'm like, ooh, that's gonna hurt. So I took up the hill, and it indeed hurt. And then I ended up in a neighborhood and just floating along. Um, so I did end up going too fast, but I felt like the effort was there. It was a humid day, so my effort was probably even a little tougher than it should have been for a marathon. For my first, this is the off season, but this was technically my first gold marathon pace effort of the New York City training block. So I say all that to say it was a cool day, super fun experience to get out and feel the jitters of a race, but not feel the pressure of having to run this race all out. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Would recommend hop in some races and just run them. Like hop in some races and just enjoy the atmosphere sometimes, because we take them all so serious, but
yeah,
racing is fun if you do it that way. I enjoyed it. I had a good time the entire way.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like so yeah, I had a similar experience. I am slightly more mature with my lifestyle and less chaotic than Aaron. So I handle my bathroom business here at the house. And then, I make so my morning was a little slightly different than Aaron's. I had an 18 miles day today. So I had to the goal was to do a big chunk of the run or that 18 miles before the race, and then consider using the race as like a fast finish. So like an easy run to a fast finish. So was supposed to do 13 miles and then 3 miles at marathon pace, which for me right now, because I'm training for Erie Marathon, just to get sub 3. So my goal is just to go nice and easy and stick around 640 or whatever. So my goal is just to do 640 through the 5K, and then which is a considerate uptick in pace, from an easy run, and then close out with a 2-mile cool down. But the way it works out is the race is at 8 o'clock. To get to Dearborn is 30 minutes, so I had to wake up at 4:15. Left the house at like 5:50, 5:10. Got to the race at like the race area around 5:40. Gary met me. We didn't start running until 5:50, so I didn't have time to do 13. So I only did 12 miles, which was fine though. Ran 12 miles, nice and smooth. Heart rate was higher than I thought I wanted to be, whatever, but it is what it is. Did 12 miles, super humid. It was cool as soon as the sun comes up, it's like done. And then so I got super humid, but was cool. I brought a change of clothes. I was fully prepared for like the disgusting nature of this day. Changed clothes, threw on some different shoes, and took off. And I do agree, like going out, we were talking like full conversation like for the first half mile. And I'm sure people around us were like, "Yo,
I know they hate this, bro." When I was thinking about it, I'm like, I would hate these people if I'm running
like
as fast
no
as I
one's
can,
having a full,
and
no
they're
one's
just
having a
like
full
talking about
conversation in the
other
first half
races.
of the 5K. They were just like, oh, these guys. So we were going. I wanted 640 just to stay right there, and it felt like we were going a little slightly slower than that. So I just kind of surged up just to stay there, because I really wanted to challenge myself to see. I know that eventually I'm gonna be asking myself to do 640 for 26 miles, but I felt like I really had I needed to be there and get used to it. So I just jumped to 640 as soon as I could, and then Gary caught up to me. And if anybody's ever heard of Gary before, Gary will make you run faster, just by nature. Gary's a competitive guy. He'll say he's not or whatever, but
I
Gary
don't think
will.
he'll say he's not.
Oh well, I mean, he
I
acts.
think he'll fully
No,
embrace
but
that.
he acts like he's not being competitive with us on runs, but he just can't help it though. That's what I'm saying. It's a compliment,
It's built in his DNA.
right? Like, because if you edge up a little bit, Gary will answer you until one of y'all can't answer again. So that happened, which was fine. I welcomed it for sure. So we were just going along. Good day. It was stupid humid, stupid, and that last hill, that 2.5 mile hill, definitely was a bit dicey. Like, you could see the hill coming. It's like, and the crazy thing about racing is, especially on a short race like that, when you're just flying along in the first half of the 5K, the hills going downhill are just, you just think that you're feeling good, you know?
Yeah.
And when you come back around, especially on the out and back, you got to go back up that hill. I was about to say out loud, like, I don't remember this downhill, but I couldn't, figure it out. Because we did like 6:30 something, 6:20 something, and then like 6 flat for the last mile, because Gary didn't want to lose to a preteen. There's like
He
there's this
wasn't a
kid.
preteen.
That kid was a preteen for
15
sure. No, that kid was like 12, bro.
Shout out to Gabe. Let me go look at Gabe real quick.
Is it Gabe? Yeah, but he was running really well. But Gary definitely didn't. I could see, he didn't say it out loud, but I could see he was trying to catch this kid. Yeah. That kid was moving. He did a great job.
He was. I seen him make the turnaround, and I'm like, okay, he's looking.
Yeah, he's gonna be a
good
beast
right now.
If you 14, 15, and you running like that for a 5K and 90 something percent humidity at, what was it, 80 degrees, you're gonna be a maniac with cross country. Anyway, so really, 15-year-old.
Shout out Gabe.
Shout out Gabe. What did he put up, like a 20?
No, he was 1950.
1950. Oh, did we get a 19? Anyway, so
yeah, because y'all beat him.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, so it was a good race. Had a lot of fun. I was really just happy to see that my legs responded.
Gary
beat
4 seconds.
Me?
Chip time.
Man, that's whack. We crossed it at the same time.
That's how you play it. You run shoulder to shoulder with somebody, be like, you ain't even know I started a little after you.
Gary said at least 12. Yeah, no, he was 15, Gary.
15-year-old Gabe.
So,
shout out to Gabe.
But it was a good day. I was happy that my legs responded. Cool. Great day. Did the cool down with you guys, 3 miles. I felt really great after 18.
That was cool.
Show of hands, please. Do you ever run like a good distance, like even if it's 10 miles or whatever, but in your journey, like you run a mileage that a year ago or whatever would have just had you done for the day, like just done, and then you run it like a 16 mile or 18 mile like today, and you're just walking around and you think about, like, dang, like at one point 12-mile run with y'all would have been like, I got to come back, sit down. The family knows that I am not balanced. Don't talk to me. I'm on the couch with it.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. I felt the same way today when I'm like, man, this pace and this weather and this humidity would have like destroyed me a year ago. I had, 2 years ago, I couldn't fathom running this fast for this long in this heat, but. Yeah,
I mean, remember last year we did like a 2-3 mile warm up, ran in the same heat, same humidity, and this did a 2 mile cool down. And remember, on the cool down, we was both like, "Yo, this is terrible."
Yeah. Today we was making jokes with Allison about being nerds and all kinds of crazy stuff. It was cool.
Yeah. See, I'm just saying, thank you, someone. Malik said, "No doubt." It's show of hands. A show of hand. Yeah, it's dope. Like, it's just it's dope that. Like the progress the body is a wild thing,
Yeah, and I used to I realized I had this mindset switch when I was at work a couple days ago. I'm like, man, I really used to dread workouts because my default was like, you're not gonna make it through. And when I made it through the workout, it felt like a win.
Yeah.
But now it's like I expect to be able to nail these workouts. I expect to, like, going in, I go in confident knowing that I can do it. So it's cool to have that different approach and to approach it from a more confident and a more just present mind state. So that was cool. But back to the race for today. What shoes did you wear today?
Oh man, so the shoes I wore were the give me 1 second, let me find this thing out right here. So my race day shoe choice was the brand new Saucony Endorphin Pro 3. So this is the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3, just came out on August 2nd in stores and on the website. This is what was that?
On the internet.
On the internet. Much different than the Saucony Pro. Hold on, let me change this view real quick so I can feel like I'm in public. All right, yeah. So the Saucony Pro 3 is a big upgrade to the Saucony Pro 2, in my opinion. And not even just my opinion, but just by the sheer makeup of the shoe. The heel, the stack on this is much higher. The foam is much softer. The upper is, to me, somehow more flimsy, but much more comfortable. The fit is just actually pretty darn good. Um, the one thing I ran in this shoe in a 10K, and one thing I liked about the shoe in the 10K was that as I felt like I was getting more tired and needed to maybe pick up the cadence and try to push a little more, the shoe definitely answered for me. You know, like sometimes you'll be in a shoe where it is what it is. If you don't have any more, it doesn't, your shoe doesn't feel like it's going to help you much at all. But this one definitely stepped up to the plate in that 10K. So I was really excited to run in it today. And everybody voted. I put up two shoes. Everybody voted and said they wanted this shoe to be run in. And I'm glad they picked it because it was a good day. The cool thing about this shoe is it's one of those shoes where you can wear on the cool down as well. To me, like you don't need to, it's comfortable enough to be able to rock with it after the race vibe. But really good shoe. It's pretty snappy, pretty bouncy. I think that like on a scale from like 1 to 5, just to make it more complicated, as opposed like in comparison to like the ones that I really love, they're like Metaspeed Skies. I think is like a 5 for me. Like Vaporflies are a 5 for me. I'm gonna probably put this at like a 4.5 ish, somewhere in there, and that's way up for what I mean, because like this is if I didn't have those other shoes, say like if I was like a Saucony athlete, this is what you want on your feet, because some of the other like the last version, I just don't think was anywhere near this or even close to what the competitors are doing. This is in the same category. So if you like Saucony, this is it. Like this is the shoe. And they have dope colorways. This is cool. I like the pink, but they have some really cool colorways. I think it's like they have like a white and iridescent type looking shoe. That's a really fire colorway. And then there's another colorway that's black, like obsidian something something something. But they have 3 dope colorways. Check it out. It's only $225. When I say only, I do mean only because it's like their competitors are $250 or $275. So saving a couple dollars here and there. Go to Gazelle if you're in Michigan or online. Go to Gazelle, grab these shoes. They are here. They are here. They are here.
Absolutely.
Sorry
and as Tommy said, those are available right now online for 225 USD. You can get those.
We'll post the link in the show notes. I've been waiting to say that for a while.
That's what's up.
Sorry.
That's what's up. And there are 3 colorways. It's black and it does look like a reflective iridescent kind of colorway. They call it black/gold struck. And they also have a white, black, and Visa red, which looks very orange to me, but they call it Visa red. So shout out to Saucony. A little birdie told me that if you're in the Michigan area, there may be some things coming soon. So
oh yeah.
Yeah. So that might be interesting. So keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out on Tommy Run's Instagram
for your local running influencers, because there may be some things coming. So shout out to Saucony. That is awesome. The shoe I decided to go with today is a kind of an oldie but a goodie. The Adidas Adizero Adios Pro 2. There is a 3rd iteration of this shoe out now, but I noticed that I really do enjoy this shoe. And I hadn't brought it out. I'm gonna switch to the other shoe, so I'm not blocking the light. I realized I hadn't. I told myself I was gonna run a 5K in these shoes early in the off season, and I bailed out on them at the last minute. So this was me keeping my word to Adidasler and running in the Adidas Adios Pro 2. I enjoy this shoe. It does have its flaws, but for what I use it for what I expect out of it, it kind of hits the nail pretty much on the head. The energy rods are a mainstay in the Adidas high performing shoe lineup. I enjoy those. What I enjoy most about this shoe is it just seems like it has a very large 4-foot bed and just a very large 4-foot landing. Just a lot of surface area there for your foot to land. And notoriously, I am a 4-foot striker. So it just gives me a lot of real estate to put on the ground and be stable. One of the drawbacks is you do have to make sure that the lacing system is locked in, because your foot will feel like it's kind of wiggling around a lot if you don't get it locked down properly. So I tend to tie them up, try to get them right in the warm up, and then if I have to make some adjustments, I'll do that after the warm up. But today I nailed it pretty much straight out the gate. I didn't have to make any adjustments, and it held up nicely. It is a very nice long run shoe. This foam is pretty dense. This foam is nice. It doesn't leave the legs wishing for more. I feel like I get a good bit of energy return, but it's really just the amount of savings from an impact standpoint, because you do have that thick foam and you do have those energy rods in there to kind of help you through. So I was impressed. I enjoyed running in these. They say the best thing a shoe can feel like is nothing. Like the best thoughts you can have about a shoe during a race is no thoughts. So if you're thinking like, oh, I kind of wish this shoe felt like this, or there was a shoe that we wore last week that gave us both a blister, and this shoe didn't do that. So that is like automatically going to make me want to reach for this more. So I'm sure that I'll probably run a few more long runs or maybe some speed work in the Adios Pro 2. But overall, and shout out to Alexa. She said, I just wore my Adios Pro 2s for my last 2 races. So yeah, it's a cool shoe. It's a cool looking shoe. It feels kind of futuristic. It feels like where we're going with marathon shoes. And also, bonus, this shoe is available. And now that the third version, the Adios Pro 3 is available, you could find this shoe on sale in various retailers all over the internet. More specifically, I have Running Warehouse. I know I'm not allowed. I know Tommy's really not allowed to say that, but I have Running Warehouse pulled up right now, and you can get these on sale for $140 American dollars, which is an absolute steal for a carbon fiber plated quote super shoe. So if you are looking to get in, and that is a big thing for my budget friendly folks, if you are looking to get into the super shoe market, if you're looking for a super shoe, this isn't something that was available to us a few years ago, because the technology was so new. Very rarely did you ever see these shoes go on sale. But now that companies are getting better at producing them, and they're getting better at getting them out to the masses, you're starting to see more and more go on sale once the new version comes out. So if that's what you want to do, if you want to dip your toe into the water of the super shoe market, I would very much recommend getting a past season model and letting that be your starting point. And if you enjoy that model, then maybe splurge a little bit for the most updated. So if you want to go find a Vaporfly 2, which is available in Nike outlets across the country for sometimes as low as $100, by all means, I would say do that, because you get that same feeling, you get that experience with a super shoe, but it doesn't break the bank as much, because we're all looking for a deal in these times of inflation. So if you can save a penny here, save a penny there, I suggest you try it.
Yeah, and then it helps on the training side of things too. Like if you can go and say let's just say you have the Alpha Fly 2 right now. If you can go find the other version, the first version, and you liked it, for a much cheaper price, why not grab one of those? Use it for training, use it for some of your long runs to save the legs, use it for whatever, and then you can save that that Alpha 2 for race day, or with all these shoes that we're talking about, they have second and third or whatever versions. Cop the new one and wear the other ones throughout training, because the goal of these super shoes too is like obviously for speed, but the big part about wearing a super shoe throughout a marathon is saving the legs. So you have more you get the more energy return you get, it's faster, but it also means you're not expelling so much energy and expending so much energy throughout the run. So at the end you still have fresher legs to go through. So oftentimes more and more pros are using super shoes just in training now. Like before it was like, oh, it's special, but they realize like the big thing is speed on the day, but it's the reason why you're so much faster still at the end is because it's saving those legs. So save those legs, save $1 or $2 by going and get the old one and save those legs.
Yep, for sure. And if you can get a pair of Vaporflies from Nike for the same price that you would pay for a pair of Pegasus,
No, don't get the
go,
Pegasus.
go for it. Go for it. Like I would highly recommend at least giving it a shot. I know some people kind of are anti super shoe, and it's understandable if you don't like that much shoe, or if you just grew up wearing a different kind of shoe. But I would suggest everybody take a stab at the technology. Everything is we need to use everything in our power to give us as much and have an opportunity to perform best on race day. So anything that will do that for you, I would suggest, other than the illegal methods.
Yeah, I mean anything that keep you racking up miles, and if that's your goal and you're just trying to add miles, more miles on concrete is just not. I mean, really not supposed to do that. Like we're not built for that. Yeah. But like if you can have something
man-made,
I think so. I think so. I don't know.
Concrete and corn, they both man-made, right?
If Adam was like walking around on the sidewalk, like they had a sidewalk around the Garden of Eden. But yeah, so yeah, just East Bay has been having really good sales. Yeah, I don't know. I don't check out East Bay.
East Bay has for a long time been a great resource if you're looking to shop on a bargain and be budget friendly, because East Bay just gets a bunch of stuff and they do mark stuff down. So yeah, shout out to and also East Bay provides a lot of discount codes. So if you can find a discount code on top of a shoe that's already on sale, you can save a lot of bread. So I would highly recommend East Bay. Great suggestion, Alexis. And the Adios Pro 2, no, it does not have a carbon fiber plate in the traditional sense, but it does have these energy rods which serve the same purpose. It's just Adidas didn't want to be like Nike, so they said we need to figure out something that does the same thing, but we can call something different.
So what they're gonna tell you though, Vaz, is that the energy rods, there's 5 of them. So they're supposed to go along with your metatarsals. And if you wiggle your toes and your feet, your foot isn't just a flat plate. It contorts as you step and land. So they're trying to say that, whenever your pinky toe really needs some help, there's there's an energy rod over there ready for your pinky toe to help. Yeah, I got you.
We can say all those hot button words that dynamic, modularity, all of that stuff.
They just wanted to be different, but I mean, it works for some people. There's a bunch of records out there still with them energy rods, so there might be something to it.
It's not the wand, it's the wizard.
Okay, and then so as we talk about like the whole concept of pushing towards possibly using super shoes to help in training and all that stuff. One brand that is going to lead into our shoe case. I'm on fire today with these transitions.
Tiny segues. That's what's up,
man. With a Z. So the reason why it works is so good because there's a lot of foam in there, but then because all that foam that helps with saving the legs and keeping that I guess like the pounding that your legs get. Throughout miles. It has a plate in it, all that stuff. But the point is, it keeps you out on the road, get more miles in safely, and all that stuff. And there's one brand out there that leaned into that all the way. And we've talked about this shoe before, but I have to bring it up again because I liked it, but I wasn't like 100% sold until this week. So the shoe that I want to talk about in our shoe case, and I think Aaron will chime in on this, is the New Balance Super Comp Trainer. Okay. I liked it because it's super bouncy and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good. It keeps the legs all fresh and all stuff. But I wasn't like super like just sold on it until I think I had like a 16-mile run, and then Aaron was like, hey, you got to bust out the Super Comp trainers. And I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm going to probably get like I said a couple other shoes that are very, very comfortable and very good for a recovery day. But he's like, nah, you got to go with these. So I wore these the next day, and I knew it was a day where my legs were just going to feel like trash all the way through the run, and it just kind of slugged through it. But it was the shoes. It's got to be the shoes because I felt great. I was still tired, but I felt like I could just get through the 8-mile day it was and felt fine afterwards. So I reached for this on Monday after a long run and then Thursday after a workout. And both days, I just felt like this shoe helps out so much. The stack on the shoe takes a little bit of getting used to on the first few runs, but once you get past that and find the comfy spot on in the shoe. And the good thing about the shoe is it's no like dips or anything. So like wherever you land, you have something, and it's the stack is so high that there's something for you at any point in this rocker, right? And it does have a pretty aggressive rocker as well, so it's going to help you continue to move forward. So huge shout out to New Balance for taking the chance and saying like, hey, we're just gonna make an illegal shoe that has that has tons of foam to keep you out there on going, and then put a plate in there to make sure that the foam is stable. Because there's another shoe out there that that Nike did a good job with the Invincible by throwing a shoe with a lot of foam, same purpose. But for me, maybe the only difference in this and that one is that the plate is in there, so it's a little more structure and it feels more snappy. Because so much foam, like with this much foam, you need a little snap and rigidity in there somewhere for it not to just be like just a marshmallow under your feet. And they just did a really great job with this, so that's why I'm bringing it up again. Really great shoe. I would highly suggest looking into getting these, because this is gonna get a lot of miles on it. Gonna.
And I absolutely agree with your assessment of the shoe. It is the quintessential recovery day shoe for me.
Hey, wait. Can you do that quintessential thing again?
Quintessential recovery day shoe for me. And it is available in 2 colorways on New Balance's website right now for
that white is
$79.99. Let me get the name of this.
Wait, it's one, so I'm 179.99 is a lot of money for a shoe. But what I'm telling you is it's going to get more miles than most other shoe, and it's going to feel decent for a very long time. Yeah, and if you are at like higher mileage, or you just feel like every time you have a run, or sometimes when you have a recovery run, you just feel really beat up and you feel like you got to reach for a super shoe, this is the alternative to me to running in a super shoe that may cost more.
Yeah, for sure. And so the colorway of that white one that Tommy is talking about is white with victory blue and magenta pop.
That magenta pop.
Hey, somebody be.
I mean, this is a really
something when they coming up with these names. I ain't gonna say what they be doing, but they definitely be doing something.
They definitely was on an ayahuasca trip, looking for clarity in life. It came up with a magenta pop.
Yeah, this one isn't as good because they double back, but it's vibrant spring glow with victory blue and vibrant apricot.
Vibrant apricot. Which one?
That's the one you holding right there. I don't see no apricot on there.
Wait. What color is apricot?
Oh no, that's what I'm saying.
Are you sure?
Just throwing stuff out there.
Are you sure? Apricot's like orange, ain't it?
It's supposed to be. If you want it to be. If you want it to be a blue, if you see blue apricots, you might be on something.
Oh, so they definitely was on something. A blue apricot. Okay. The
last line of the description for the Super Comp says the Fuel Cell Super Comp trainer is designed to look, feel, and perform differently.
This is it. This thing is the blue apricot. Because blue apricot, there's blue velvet apricots. Who would have known except for that guy that was on that? Who would have known except for that? For whoever created that. We're not going to gender them. No, because they could be anything. And whoever did it is genius.
You know what? You know what's crazy?
What?
I just googled blue apricot. Ain't no fruit on there.
It's weed.
We went this whole way trying to avoid.
Look. Mine got fruit on there. Okay, but the rest of this is weed. Yeah, see, the reason why mine has the fruit on there as well, and yours is only weed, is because it's your search history. It's like, oh, he don't want to know about fruit. He just want to know about weed and stuff.
I consume much more fruit than I consume marijuana.
You must not be Googling it, man.
Devil's lettuce. What he did, he took a bite of a blue apricot.
Yeah.
He took a pull of some blue apricot, and he was like, I figured it out.
Green Dot Labs created the blue apricot weed strand. So if anybody else out there has had blue apricot weed, let us know.
It might feel as good as those New Balances. Super comp trainer.
He was like, man, I got to come up with a shoe that feels like this.
No, he don't look. He's not even like in charge of any like technology or anything on the shoe. He got one job. We need
idea,
and he just
idea guy.
Like, he go to name right here. Colorway.
No, I think he. This is one of those moments where guys, like you're supposed to hit that upgrade button and take that chance to go to the next level. Homie, the name guy, the color name guy, he came into the office one day and was like, his old lady was like, you go in there and you tell him your idea. And then he's like, I got a color name. And then he's like, blue apricot. And there's no such thing as blue apricot. He's like, listen to me here. He showed him a picture and he said, this is what you need to do. It's a color, but you also got to come up with a shoe that feels like this. And I feel like what? And then he passed around the thing.
I didn't know New Balance was such a forward-thinking company.
Man, how else would you come up with this? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. All right, that's enough of me.
Psychedelics.
Right. This show started off so this one started off so proper. This is the best way to end an off season.
Because y'all gonna get
on task.
Right now we're energetic, we're like jokey and all of that.
After 18 miles,
I'm telling you, in about 8 or 10 weeks, we're gonna be out here going through the motions. Yeah,
no, in 8 or 10 weeks, this is gonna be the thing that we talk about the most right here. Hold on. In 8 or 10 weeks, once we start adding up these miles, this is what it's gonna be. Aaron will be.
I'm tired of this.
You know what? Aaron is going. This will be a whole episode about Aaron's grievances. Either I showed up late to a run or something. I showed up late to the most of them.
I've grown immune to that. I don't even complain about it anymore.
Well, it was a couple of times I got a little crazy. It was a while, and that was at the end of a block too. And you was you wasn't having it. You're like, I drove 40 minutes to wait 30. Yeah,
I left the house an hour later.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, man. I want.
All right, we rambling.
All right, so we just had a conversation, just us. Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? But so here's the deal. Today's the last episode of the off season. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in, as you guys always do. Next up is season 2. Season 2 will be entitled New York City, because we're gonna be running the New York City Marathon. Big shout out again.
All right, I ain't gonna do that.
Big shout out again to New Balance, because New Balance is the reason why we are going to New York.
They are the reason for the season.
Yeah, the reason for the race that we're going to be doing, because they are the title sponsor of the New York City Marathon. They will be flying the PR project out to experience that weekend and then do stuff. And then, side note, Tracksmith is going to be there. So if you're in New York and you run the New York City Marathon,
to Tracksmith.
And if you're going to be doing a shakeout run, definitely pull up, because we'll be at a run. So thank you so much, New Balance, for hooking this thing up. And the next season is going to be really fire. There's going to be a lot of training, a lot of stuff going on. I myself have a couple other things I got to do in between now and New York as step ladders for me to continue this process. And I think that I'm really excited about season 2. What are you looking forward to most about starting your official training block for New York next Sunday? What are you most looking forward to about your official marathon training block starting?
I don't look forward and look backward. I just stay in the present. No, I'm joking.
Eckhart, you're killing me here.
No, I'm looking forward to challenging myself. I'm looking forward to watching myself grow over the duration of the block. And I'm just locked in and ready to get to work. Like, it seems like it's weird. It seems like Rhode Island was just yesterday, and it seems like it was 10 years ago all at the same time. So I'm ready to get back into the flow of things. I'm a super structured person, so I love routine. So waking up and not really having to think about, what am I going to do today, is awesome. And I'm just going to lock in and do my thing and try out these new shoes. Got a bunch of new swag from Tracksmith. So we're just going to be cool. We're going to be giving y'all more content this time around. and just trying to be, you know, cool runner guys on Instagram, cool runner guys on YouTube, cool runner guys out in these streets, and really getting after it, man.
Yeah, man.
Looking forward to the hills, because you know I got to get my hill work in.
Yeah, because New York has a couple hills, a few hills, actually 5 hills to be exact, for sure, at least. You know, I'm sure there's other, you know, stuffs, but anyway, so yeah, New York is gonna be a great vibe. We will be training like we've never trained before. The good thing about training and progress or process is that it's progress, hopefully, in the end. So this marathon training block will be a little heavier and hotter than the last one. So shout out to y'all for always checking in. Find me on Instagram, Tommy, TOMMIE_RUNZ, and you can find Aaron at
Aaron X Worldwide, AARON X WORLDWIDE. Follow me. Pull up on your man.
Yep. Follow us, check it out. Make sure you send this to a friend. All that stuff. We'll try to throw any stuffs and notes about the shoes we talked about in the show notes. And y'all be good out there. Put in a good week's worth of training. Tap in on Instagram. Let us know if you PR'd and stuff like that. Because if you PR'd, I want to be able to shout it out. Sorry, this last thing. Promise. Alexander Wright, if you are still here, congratulations on your 5K PR the other day. Alexander Wright ran like a 16:48 or 46 or 47, and he just started, like, I feel like he just started running like a few years ago too. So 16:40 something is, and if it's lower than 16:40, forgive me, sir. But really great job, Alexander. That's dope. And whoever
we always ring the PR bell. We always showing love to PRs.
We need a PR bell.
So yeah, if you run a PR, if you know somebody that ran a PR recently, tell them to pull up on Sunday, and we're gonna give them flowers. Because
yeah, we don't have to know them. They don't have to be here all the time. Let us know you ran a PR, and we'll give you a shout out, because that's what it's here. We here for.
Yeah,
it's a shout out.
Sounds good.
All right, peace out, guys. See you next. I want to be in the middle, right there. See you next Sunday. Season 2 is about to go off. Or I mean, it's gonna be on.